Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Simone. How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
Not bad as well. now a bit happier that since I am I will have a nice chat with you for sure. I know that, so excited with that.
Absolutely. That's exactly why we are here. So I've been struggling a little bit to set up everything because for some reason Zoom kept freezing. So, but it looks like I solved the issue. So
far,
so we can, yeah. So how about we start with first question? So why Portugal? Why someone should choose Portugal as their next holiday destination, especially if they want to do a motorcycle ride?
There are several reasons that I would suggest anyone to choose Portugal as a riding destination. First is it's the size of the country. It's quite small, and so everything that is important, or even the less important, are quite close one to the other, and the landscape diversity is quite nice in terms and diverse in all types: mountains, beach, flat areas, lush green, more dry, and all in 2-3 hours distance of easy riding. So that makes a very nice destination for a diverse motorcycle riding. Then yes, there's the history part of in cultural diversity of the and background of the country. That for someone who is interested in a bit more than riding, that's something that can be appealing.
Yeah, because I remember you were telling me that most of the times you deal with Scandinavian tourists, and they usually like to do short tours. And the fact that you can reach one important place to another within 2-3 hours of ride, that must be a very good option, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's for a short kind of a city break, so 3-4 days. You can do one day of riding, another day of relax at the beach, and some other activities like wine experience, river cruises, so on. So in all that in very short distance traveling. The country is 900 kilometers more or less length and 300 kilometers the widest part, so it's quite small.
And it is quite small when you think about it. But on the other hand, you know, some of the followers that we have, not many because we don't have much followers yet, but some of them are from yet. Hopefully we'll have more in time, but some of them are from countries like the US or Australia, New Zealand, and generally when they travel from these countries towards Europe, they want to spend more time, right? Obviously, they won't do just a weekend because the flight alone would take them like a day or two, right?
Exactly.
So, is it possible, like, although it's a small country, but you could spend like 10-12 days, right?
Easily. Even if it's only for riding, you can do it. And if you extend it a bit with some off-road riding, so the range of possibilities will increase even more, because it's still very easy to ride, to do free off-road riding. Here in Portugal, there's lots of tracks, so you can add to your...
It's a good point that you said, because then usually, I mean, how are the roads in general there? They're well paved, they're well maintained, I guess.
The highway paved network is very good, connects the majority of the main cities, but that's not so nice.
Yeah, is it fun to ride? Is it? They are straight highways, I guess.
Not all, but the idea is they easily take you to interesting points if you are in a rush, or either to go there or getting back to your base point, base camp. But those are paid. But the fun part is what the N and even M classification. So it's I think in terms of English roads is A and B's. So well, majority are well paved. The surface is good, very good, because there's not so much traffic usually, and they are slower roads, slower in terms of that they are very winding, and they go up and down, up and down. So
that's when the fun starts.
That's why I said fun. Although we have to consider that there is riders who like straight, more flat roads. So we don't have as many. We don't have that many because we don't have such a vast territory with such long straight roads. But we still have the southern part has plenty of that type of roads. Plus, our biggest neighbor is the Atlantic, so you cannot ride there.
No, of course not.
You can flew over it and go to the archipelago, the two archipelagos that are possible to ride as well. But the other neighbor, and also very important, is Spain. And once you're in Spain, you have more roads like that, much more option and much more roads like those straight, easy riding roads. So it's if you consider an extension, Spain as an extension to Portugal for riding 15 days, and you would have a lot to ride, and probably you will not see even the most significant points of them all. So, yeah.
I guess a lot of people that are coming from long way, they would, if they're flying to Europe, they would prefer to do a bit of Spain, a bit of Portugal, perhaps even cross the Pyrenees and go to France. It depends on the number of days, and
or Morocco.
Or Morocco, yeah, that's also another nice option, right? But then going back to what you mentioned earlier, you said there are also a lot of free off-road options, right? And
free in terms of access.
But how easy it is for someone that is a foreigner to find them, or you absolutely need someone from there to find these back roads?
The non-paved back roads, or
no, I mean you mentioned off-road. If someone wants to have something more challenging, then of course off-road would be one of the options. But some places where there are more bikers going, then you can find info online, and But how is it for Portugal? Is it easy to find these off-roads? Can you do it yourself alone? Like if you're planning to do a trip, do you think you could plan your own itinerary and find this kind of off-road tracks where you can go, or is it difficult without a proper local guide?
There's several, there are different types of off-road tracks. So there's, for example, two tracks that go from north to south of Portugal. One is the TET, Trans-European Trail. That is, it has a website. Everyone adds their personal input to the route info and so on.
Right.
And there's another one that is the ACT, all country track or something like that. They also it has also its own website with the tracks and the tourists, the spots to visit and to go through. So, and with that, you have one with 900 kilometers and the other one with 700 or something. So.
And these are all off-road tracks. You mean like
majority of the
all right, those are long roads for being off-road.
so you go out from one to the other. There's tarmac connections, but most is off-road.
Oh, that's interesting.
Some easy parts, some difficult parts, but it's marked on every GPS and stuff. And since it's marked and almost open to the world, it's very easy to
find it. All right.
Find it. To ride it all depends on your skills of road. That's not my specialty, so I will not go much more than this. I know where it is, and I know how some parts are, but and I know it's easy to find. The other ones, everyone knows some extra track, some hidden spot, and many are marked on maps and websites and stuff. The issue is the difficulty to know if you are going in private land or what's the procedure, and if you find someone, what to do. And being a foreigner, of course, you don't know the procedure to deal with the locals, and if you usually they are mostly in the inland with where there's more older people. They don't speak English. They are nice, but they don't speak, so it can be stressful. All depends on.
It's difficult to communicate on the rural areas.
Yeah, it can be. So it all depends on your how much adventure you want to add to your to your
holidays.
To your holidays.
So tell me about this. What are the best times of the year to travel to Portugal, and how is the weather based on the times? Like, we know summer, of course. Summer is the one most populated time, I guess.
Summer is hot. We are every year we are getting more days of plus 40 temperature, dry, super dry, and easy 40, 42, especially inland, where the Atlantic Ocean doesn't influence the weather so much, so you don't get the breeze. So easily 42, 43, 45. I think the record is 51 or something.
Oh wow, that's hot.
It's hot and dry.
Even if it's dry, it's hot. I mean, if it's humid, it's even worse because you can't breathe. But getting to 50, it's a lot. Wow.
Yeah, it's not every day. It's not every day, fortunately. But it may happen, and I'm saying July, August, sometimes September. You get those temperatures in all across the country, closer to the Spanish border. The coastal areas, it's not so high, although it can be high, like for 30 something, close to 40 something.
And but this is mostly in July, August, like in
July, August,
summer, right?
Yeah,
which is also the time where most of the tourists are coming to Portugal, I guess.
And the Portuguese as well. So it's the elected month for holidays, also because of the schools and so on.
Of course.
It's July and August. August is
it's typical, yeah. So what other months are a good option for riding there?
For riding, I would choose spring and autumn. So our spring in the south starts in February. Spring in terms of weather terms, in calendar is different. Yeah. But spring can start in February and goes to June. June is still mild, and the autumn, so mid-September, October, mid-November, you still get very mild temperatures. There may be rain, but not much. and the roads are more empty, less tourists and people on the road. Some prices, the accommodation prices get a bit lower. And the restaurants, since they are not so busy, they have more time to use, so some more friendliness. So that's so.
They're less busy and chaotic, I guess.
Sorry?
They are less busy and chaotic. So
yes,
there's less
yes,
chaos. So obviously, they are the what you say, the restaurant, the people working there are less stressed, I guess, and they're more welcoming, which is understandable. Happens everywhere in the world, you know. When it's peak summertime, it can be a mess for everyone.
And if you know the Portugal demographic, you would realize that the majority of the population lives on the coastal areas. So two big cities, Lisbon and Porto, and majority live around those two cities. And then you have the southern part that also is the southern coast that is more density. And so all the services are well planned in terms of people. And how well they can accommodate the clients in the coastal areas. And if you go to inland, where more people go when are on holidays, you don't get so easy restaurants with 200 seats or 100 seats. You get the nice restaurants, but they have 20 seats, 15 seats. And
so those are the ones that I usually prefer.
Yeah, but in August you prefer, and many people prefer, and with all the magazines and blogs and so on, there's no hidden secrets anymore, and they get busy, and they are not used to their everyday life. Their rhythm is not like 11 months of the year they are relaxed and they can manage the work they have on that month or 2 months. They get overbooked, so they get stressed. Well, so the service is not as good. So
what is in general? So okay, we are talking about food and restaurants. So what is a range that you spend to have a good meal in Portugal?
Yeah, I would say a good meal, a traditional Portuguese meal, meaning starter, main dish, dessert, and a drink. And a drink, I would say, glass of a beer or a glass of wine or small bottle of wine, water, coffee. Around 15 euros, easily.
15.
15, 5.
Yeah, 15, yeah.
Yeah, 15 euros, and you get a nice, proper, traditional meal, like kind of home cooked, not fancy restaurants.
Yeah. Local, typical food. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to go to more fancy gourmet fine dining, of course, there is in the inland less people, less sulfur, but you can easily get to 100 euros without the wine. But that's all depends on what you're looking for. But the average, I would say, 15 euros, and I'm putting it.
Yeah, and what about rooms? Like, what is the range for room rentals there, and hotels or?
I would say that a 3-4 star hotel in a twin beds room inland around 70 euros, 70, with including breakfast, a place to store your motorcycle, and lots of smiles and friendly staff, because they have lots of time to welcome and they love to host clients, because during the year it's so relaxed, and when they see someone, especially from abroad, they get very happy.
Yeah, because we are still talking. We are still talking when if we were to go around springtime or autumn, so from February to June, then from end of September to November, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is now peak season, so there is less tourism, less chaos, and yeah.
Let me add, of course, in Portugal you can ride all year round. All depends on what you are used to. Since if you are from Sweden, Finland, Norway, you can come here in December, January, February. That's the coldest months and more rainy. It's spring.
Yeah,
it's spring. First, you can ride. If you ask me, is it the perfect riding conditions? Yeah, for me, probably no. Not. For me, no. For them, it's perfect. Probably it's perfect because it's not so hot. There's no snow. There's no ice. Or if there is, it's in very specific spots that you can go. You can detour them or wait a couple of days and there's no more snow there. So the winter is possible. And if you go south, the two southern regions, Alentejo and Algarve, they don't have snow, very few rain, and so yeah, you can ride all year round.
All year round, yeah.
Even less people in the roads. Restaurants, hotels have excellent prices. Yeah, so it's a very nice destination for a short break or a long break for riding.
And how is it with how is the traffic over there? Because I come from after a few years in Asia, and their traffic can be really crazy. Like everyone is like, the rules sometimes don't exist. People just ride or drive wherever they want. In Sri Lanka, the bigger vehicles, they have always the control of the road. How is it in Portugal?
Well, we don't get even close to that. Although the numbers in terms of European community, I think Portugal has the highest numbers of accidents and so on.
All right.
But take in consideration that majority of those happen where more people are. So big cities or bigger cities or the outskirts of bigger cities, because unfortunately we tend to drive or ride a bit faster than the speed limit.
All right.
And the skill is not something that everyone has. So when there's higher speed and not so much skill, something not good will happen.
Yeah, it's not a good combination.
No, unfortunately not. But I would say for someone that is used to ride Nordic countries, Canada, Australia, so where there's lots of respect and for rules, for the road traffic rules, I would say that the first approach, they would feel stressed. So with a guided tour, it would help.
Of course. But that's everywhere. Like that's everywhere. Like, of course, going solo has its advantages, but by experience, going to a country that you don't know anything about, having a guide and something that is already prepared always help. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you are in the most civilized and modern country to the to the most desertic place in the world. If you have someone that already knows the place, where to go, etc., that always help. It's nothing. even if it's not a tour guide, but even if you have a friend or someone that knows the place,
it's different.
they always help. It's that's
it will suit the rhythm of when in a certain road according to his knowledge of how usually the road is, if it's a busy road or if it's a road that usually has lots of tractors, for example, because it's a farming, depending on farming area or which farming season is.
Of course.
An example in
cropping or
in August, we have a huge part of the country that where they plant tomato.
All right.
And if you are crossing that part of the country and you are not aware you don't know it, you will have lots of surprises when driving, and there's certain parts that are very interesting to ride. But the surprises are amazing because they are coming. The tractors are coming from the fields full of the lorries full of tomatoes, and they just go to the road because they are working.
And they're slower, of course. They block the road.
And the tomato goes to the road, to the side shoulders on the roads. It's slippery. Saying this looks like a messy, of course, but you really have to go there, and you can avoid. But if you know it, you just drive with an extra pair of eyes and more aware.
They do something similar even in Sri Lanka, where they put the rice on the roadside to dry. And not just the rice, but even pepper and stuff like that, literally on the pavement, because it's hotter. So they keep it there to dry. Yeah. So
nice.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's local knowledge that is nice to know. If you don't know, will you be in danger? No, but it can
be a surprise.
Can be a surprise or trouble your experience. All ends up to the same. What are you looking for, or what are you willing to cope with, to experience?
So tell me one thing. So let's do a little exercise. If I was coming there, like, okay, I'm in Switzerland, so I'm not far from there. And if I had a short break, what would be your top itinerary? Like, what would you suggest me to do?
Short break, like how many days you have for riding?
3 days, 4 days?
3 days, 4 days. So all depending on where you are traveling. So either Lisbon, Porto, or Faro. Let's consider Lisbon. I would say a 1 day tour of the two mountains close to Lisbon. So that is Sintra and Rábida, both by the sea, and lots of winding roads.
So it's mountains, but you have the sea view from those.
Every now and then you have like a frame with a mountain and the Atlantic Ocean. There's some palaces, monuments in those mountains. Both have vineyards. One is a cheese, a buttery cheese.
Dairy farm.
No, it's a region, so it's a famous. Right. Yeah, it's famous for a small buttery cheese, creamy cheese, dessert wine, and fresh fish and seafood. So it's a nice introduction to the Lisbon area without even getting into Lisbon, because Lisbon you can know it on your own. It's easy to.
Yeah, and it's a city. It's a city after.
Yeah, and you don't ride.
You don't ride in there. You just, if you need, you take a bus or a.
You walk.
Or train, or you walk. Yeah, exactly.
In Lisbon, you walk. So, and the second and third day, if it would be two full days available for riding, I would, depending on the season, I would recommend my favorite, the central mountain ranges, that is Serra da Estrela, Serra do Açor, Serra de Monte Junto e Serra do Caramulo. So it's 4 mountain ranges, and it's not Italian or Swiss Alps dimension, so it's smaller, but 4 different mountains where you can, being placed, accommodated in the center, you can ride 2 full days in those winding roads, up and down. And,
I'm gonna need you to write to me those mountains so I can write them in the description.
Okay, perfect. I will. And so, and there's more than riding. So there's typical traditional products like cheese, smoked meats, or and even wine regions, because we have 10 or 12 different wine regions from in all the continental part, plus 2 in the archipelagos, and all different. All the wine regions have their specific wine. The geographic is different, and in that area you can visit some of them, plus riding, lots of winding roads, plus riding.
Riding. Yeah, of course.
Lots of winding roads all day. So easily, all depends on the person style of riding and how eager it is to ride, but easily 200-300 kilometers of very winding roads all day.
Okay, that can be fun.
So it's fun. You get at the end of the day very tired but very happy. So
of course, you say like 200-300 kilometers. How many hours of riding there, you think?
Of riding, that I would say around 6, with some and close to 8-9 hours or a bit more, depending with the stops. So the lunch break, pictures.
That sounds fair. That sounds pretty good.
A full day job. It's a full day job.
Sounds pretty much. Sounds fair, like 6 hours plus stops and lunch, and take it easy, enjoy the scenery and the mountains there. And
of course, in the summer you can do more because you have longer days. In summer it's possible to do more, but all depends on how the riding style. If you drive faster, if you stop more pictures, whatever. But average 6 hours driving, with some time to relax. That is also necessary.
So it's basically, it's interesting. So it's basically starting from Lisbon. Then you first ride a bit around Lisbon on the mountain areas, which are facing the Atlantic Ocean. And then from there, the next days you move toward the central part of Portugal, which is a mountain range, not big mountains like the Alps or the Dolomites. No. But still a lot of winding roads. I guess that's the area that brings you from Lisbon. You go inland, but you go towards north or
north. It's it's in the central part. So it's north east of Lisbon. If you drive straight there, it's 2.5 hours.
Is that near the famous Douro area? You know,
south of Douro. The Douro Valley and region is so rich that if you are a few days in Portugal, either you just go there, or you skip, or you make an extension, because there's even more winding roads there, and there's stuff to experience that take a bit longer. That is the wine tasting, and visiting some vineyards, because they are pretty unique. It's a UNESCO heritage site, the Douro Valley. I think you cannot leave the Douro Valley without the experience either cruising on the river by boat, or also amazing if it's working, because it's not working every time, the classic train, steam train that goes along the river, almost by the water, and you will be in the train, and with the steep valleys, with the vineyards on the terraces.
All right.
So it's something that once in the Douro Valley you have to experience. It's my recommendation: either the river cruise in one way or two ways, or the train. The train. It's a plus. So in 3-4 days, if you are based in Lisbon, of course you can go there and back to Lisbon, but you will skip so much nice stuff on the way that probably either you come more days or you come the next time. And
so do you think that to do both, like the first itinerary that you spoke about, so basically 3-4 days from Lisbon around the mountains, and then to the central mountain area, and then to Douro Valley, then do you think it would be like an 8-9 days tour?
Not that much. So what I said was 3 days. With 4 or 5 days, you can make an extension to Douro Valley. Of course, not all the Douro Valley and surroundings. With 8 days, it's
would be perfect.
Would be perfect. You'd see easily something on the way to the Douro Valley, more than what I told. The mountain ranges, we have a set of what they are classified as schist or slate villages, where all the houses are old style, made in slate. Right. Very, very traditional or historical villages, where each village has a medieval castle, so on. So there's lots of history on the way there, plus the mountains to ride. And once you get to the Douro Valley and surroundings, you are again in a fun park. So it's winding roads, amazing river views, and the more mountains, up and down. Not many
great.
kilometers, but not many kilometers, because the roads are like spaghetti.
Oh, right. Spaghetti. Let's call them spaghetti road from now on. Sounds interesting. All right. So, listen, one last question, since we're getting close to the end of our chat today. One last question. Like besides riding, you just mentioned this train trip, steam train trip, and river cruise in Douro Valley. But what else can you do in Portugal? Like what are the main attraction besides this riding Douro Valley? I know about surfing. I know surfing is a great thing there. And what else? What are other interesting things to do as a tourist?
Yeah, so you have the surfing if you are a surf fan, and there's lots of surf spots, including one of the 10 in the world surfing reserves that is close to Lisbon. You have the wine experiences, wine tasting, and you can try all different types of wines and get to know a bit of the Portuguese love for wine. The gastronomy experience of seafood and fresh fish being on the top. Then you have like hot air balloon in the flat areas at the south. So you wake up in the dawn, and at sunrise you'll be flying over the vineyards with a hot air balloon.
Oh, that might be interesting.
There's a possibility. It's a possibility. You have scuba diving, lots of spots if you are a fan of scuba and you don't mind slightly chilled Atlantic water. So
I thought you were going to say if you don't mind being surrounded by sharks from the Atlantic.
No.
But no, chilled water is still fine.
We don't have sharks here. The water is a bit cold for them, so we don't have. Okay. So what I said, gastronomy, hot air balloons, skydiving. We have skydiving schools. Yeah. Yes, like an hour from Lisbon. Nature walks. If you are hiking, a
lot of nature activities, I guess, bird watching. So so there's quite a lot that you can do in Portugal besides driving, I guess.
Lots of diversity and again, all in very short distance riding. Like in the summer, you can be in the mountain all day, and an hour after you'll be watching the sunset over the Atlantic easily. And drinking vinho verde. That's our close to prosecco.
That's the green wine, right?
Green wine, vinho verde. It's not green. They call it green wine, but
it's white.
It's a white wine. It's a prosecco, kind of.
It's like a prosecco, yeah.
And seafood. So that's a perfect ending for a perfect riding day.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to come over there as soon as possible.
Please. Looking forward to welcome you.
Okay, before we wrap up this, I just wanted to say one thing for any watcher, any of the guys that are going to watch. Don't forget to check out our contest on contest.REVnTRAVEL.com. You could win a trip for tour in Sri Lanka. It's a 13 days motorcycle tour. Everything is included. So don't miss the opportunity. All you have to do is to send us your motorcycle travel stories. All right. Thanks, Sérgio, for today's chat. And I'll talk to you probably later. So see you in a few minutes or in a few moments.
You're welcome, and hope to see someone that is watching us here and tour you around. It will be a pleasure.
Sorry. Before we close, I forgot. I'm gonna add all Sérgio's contacts in our description and on our website. So if you're intending to go to Portugal and you need a guide, or you need a guide that knows the place and can suggest you the best itineraries, please contact Sérgio.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, Simone. Bye.